Now let's talk about one of my most favorite ingredients, which is chocolate, or also called cacao. Now I am obsessed with chocolate. This is why I got into raw desserts. I started making raw chocolate and then got into raw desserts because I have a sweet tooth. We're going to be making homemade chocolate with really healthy ingredients and just 4 ingredients. So we're going to do that in the next video. This video is all about chocolate education because there is a lot of information out there, a lot of information about chocolate. I really want to go through with you how chocolate is made, the different components of chocolate we're using, and what is raw chocolate, what is not. Now in chocolate terms, cacao means unroasted, cocoa means roasted. So in the chocolate industry, there really is no truly raw cacao. So we're using unroasted, which has not been subjected to super high temperatures. So it still has a lot of the minerals and nutrients that we're looking for, especially antioxidants. Now, the reason there's no raw cacao is because during the fermentation process, the cacao beans reach well over and above the raw threshold of 118 degrees Fahrenheit. So what happens with cacao is actually a fruit. It comes from the pod. They remove the seeds, so it's actually seeds, which in chocolate terms we call beans. Then they're taken out, they're dried in the sun, and they're fermented. And then after that point, they look like this. So this is what the actual beans or seeds look like after they've been dried and fermented. Then what happens is they go through a step where they break these up into cacao nibs. So that's what the nibs are. So from the nibs, you can get the paste and the butter. And then of course the cacao powder. So you'll see here I have cacao nibs, cacao powder, cacao paste, or also called chocolate liqueur or chocolate mass. And then we have cacao butter. So you'll see in a lot of chocolate recipes, people will use cacao powder and cacao butter. Myself personally, I love to use the paste because it produces a much smoother result. It's also much easier to temper than using cacao powder. And we'll get into tempering in another video. So this is also called liqueur or mass. So when you're looking for cacao paste online in bulk, it could also be called mass or liqueur. Now, when you're looking for chocolate products, again, you want to make sure that you're getting cacao, so C-A-C-A-O, which means it has been unroasted. So you'll see that it's actually a lot lighter in color than the actual roasted. So what I love about cacao is it has a lot of nutrients and antioxidants. It has 40 times more antioxidants than blueberries, which is huge because as we know, blueberries are touted as super high antioxidant. And it has an ORAC score of 98,000, which is also huge. It's also high in calcium, magnesium, zinc, and iron, which is why a lot of women crave it around their time of the month because we're really craving the magnesium and the iron as well. Now, chocolate is a lot of fun to use in raw cuisine because as you can see, we have all these different components to work with. Now, we're not going to be using these. I just have these out just to show you what the actual seeds look like after they've been dried and fermented. But we have the nibs. I like to make candied cacao nibs with. We can also add these to recipe for extra texture. So this is basically 100% dark chocolate just without any sweetener or vanilla added. So just remember the nibs are going to be a lot bitter. Plus they are quite tough to eat. So just keep that in mind, which is why I like to candy them, which is basically covering them in chocolate because it makes them a lot softer and just makes the texture a lot better. And then, of course, I like to use cacao powder in a lot of my truffle recipes, chocolate recipes, fudge recipes. And then I love to use the paste for making the homemade raw chocolate, but also as a binder in chocolate recipes, because as you can see, paste, when it is solid, just like butter, it is very solid. So it works well as a really good binder as well as the cacao butter. So I wanted to show you and give you some information on these different cacao ingredients that we're going to be working with along with the health benefits. So I hope that helps. We're going to get into making some chocolate recipes and let me know if you have any further questions.